Welcome back to the series of Python by WsCubeTech, and in this tutorial we're going to be studying about the data types in Python in details. Okay, so let's get started. So basically we have seen what is data types, right? So data type is nothing but it is a type of data that is stored into your variable or container. Okay, so in Python you have various types of data types. Okay, you can see over here that these are all the data types in Python. So we'll see this one by one. All right, so the first one is the none. Okay, so none is all about when you have a variable and you don't assign anything to it, is simply said as none. Okay, if you have worked with any of the other programming languages and all, so you might have heard the word as null, N-U-L-L, null. Yes, so that was the case in the other programming language, whereas in Python, okay, we make use of this none. So it's simply you are not assigning anything to that variable. The next one is the numeric. Okay, so inside this numeric, these all you can see that it comes the integer, the floating point numbers, the complex numbers, and the boolean type. Okay, these all are nothing but it comes under the category of numeric data type. Okay, we will see this one by one. Okay, and the more are this, you can see this, the string, list, tuple, set, range, and these are nothing but it is basically called as the sequence in Python. Okay, so we are going to see this all in details in our upcoming video. Okay, we are going to see each one by one, like what is string and what is list, tuple, and all this, and what all operation you can perform on this. Okay, and the last one is the dictionary. Okay, so the main goal of this video is all about like making you guys familiar with the data types in Python, and we are going to simply see some of the basic examples of this now, like how you can declare all of these data types in Python. Okay, so we'll see one by one. Okay, we'll start with the numeric. Okay, so let's head over to our PyCharm. All right, so this is my Python file, and in the first, as I said, the numeric data type. Okay, so in numeric there is int, float. Okay, so we'll basically see int. Okay, so I'm taking here a variable. Okay, so we'll just assign it a value something. So a is equal to, say I say 5, and if I say print a, all right, and I simply run it, so we'll see that we are getting the input. Now we have even see how to check the type of that variable. So we'll simply say print, and I will say type, and I want to get the type of a. So I'm passing there over a, and when I run it, we see that it says that it's of class int. All right. So in the similar way, we can see for the float. Okay. So in case of the float, okay, so if I just give it a float, in floating point numbers, we are simply having the decimal points. Okay, so if I give this a number, okay, and if I want to know, if I want to just print it, I want to know the type of it. So Python does this automatically. You no need to mention it, what type of data you're storing it. Python does that automatically for you. Okay, so this is nothing but the second one in the category of the numeric data type. So the first we saw the int, and the second we saw the float. Okay, moving on to next, we'll see the complex numbers. So in complex numbers, this concept, if you have studied in mathematics, okay, there used to be this complex number, and it used to have this the real number and the imaginary number. So it used to be like a plus b I. Okay, just a second, a plus b I. So this used to be a complex number in mathematics. Okay, so we are simply going to convert this as in numbers. Okay, so Python even supports complex numbers. So see, if I say a is equal to, and I say 7 plus 5 plus j. So yeah, in Python it is necessary to use this j instead of I. All right, and if I say print a, so it will give me an output, and it says 7 plus 5j. Okay, so this is nothing but a complex number. And if I want to know the type of this, so I'm simply going to write type, and I'm going to pass the parameter of a, and it says me that it's of class complex. Okay, so up till now we have seen int, we have seen float, we have seen complex, and we even have one more in the category of numeric, that is boolean. Okay, so let's take a quick example. Suppose that I have a is equal to 7 and b is equal to 10, and I want to check whether which is greater among this. Okay, so I will take another variable, that is c, and I will simply say that 10 is or say I will say 7 is less than 10, okay? Or we'll just pass the parameters, okay? We are variable, okay? So I'm going to say B is less than A, all right? And I want the answer, right? So I'm going to say like print C, okay? That's it. So you can see here it says me false because of course B is not B is greater than A, right? So in this case you can see that this is nothing but the boolean. Now how to check? Okay, so we'll simply say we want to know the type. So I'm going to say print and type, and I want to know the type of this C, all right? So I'm going to pass the parameter as C and I will run it. So you can see this, it says that it's class of boolean, okay, bool, it prints over there. So this is about the numeric data type. And one more we missed out, I think we have missed out the null, okay. So now basically we're going to modify this code, okay. So suppose that I have this 7 and 10 and I want to print the result here itself, okay. So I'm going to say print, and now I'm going to say B is greater than A, okay. So it will give me the answer result, okay. So it says me true. Now let's check the type of C, okay. So I'm going to say print and type and C. Let's see what type it prints over there. So yes, it says it's of none type. So in the starting, as I discussed, like when you assign nothing to a variable, now you can see here we are assigning nothing, we are simply printing over here, we are assigning nothing. But in case when I was printing this case, I was not printing over here, okay. In the earlier stage you have seen, like I was not printing over here, and I just said that print C, okay. When I said print, and I said simply like you just print C, just a second, yeah. So it was giving me the result, okay, and you saw that it says of class bool. So basically moving on to our PPT, okay. So you basically saw over here that we saw none, okay. We completed this numeric data type, and including this we saw integer, floating point number, complex number, and boolean. Complex number is nothing but it is a combination of the real and imaginary number. That is one number plus or minus, and the remaining part, that is the imaginary number, okay, which is denoted by J, okay, in Python. Moving on to next, we'll see what is a string, all right. So well, we can even use string. We have basically seen this thing, but once again we will say, suppose I say name is equal to, now strings can be given in double quote, single quote. So if I say WsCubeTech, all right, well, the W got missed, okay. Okay, so I can basically print this, okay. It's nothing but it's string, okay. I'm passing your name, and if I say yeah, we are getting the results, okay, fine, that works. And if I want to print the type, I want to know which type it is, so I'm basically going to give name, and it's yes. So we got this, right? So we got this WsCubeTech, and it says it's of class string, okay. So this is how we work with strings, right? We can even give here in single quotes and double quotes, and Python does accept the single quotes and double quotes, okay, fine. So this was about the strings, all right. So heading over to next, okay, in our Python, in our PPT, the next one is the data type in Python is the list. Now just quickly see what is this list, all right. So in Python, okay, you can declare list, okay. So this list can be a collection of integer, of floating point numbers, or it can be also a collection of string, okay. Now quickly see how we can declare a string, a list in Python, okay. So if I say like num is equal to, and the point to be remembered over here is while declaring a list, you need to give a square brackets, right? And if I say I'm printing something, okay, so say 12, and I said it's a collection of all data types, okay. So if I say I give it a string right here, and next I give it a integer, floating point number, okay, 3.14, and basically I give one more. And so yeah, this is how you can declare a list in Python, okay. And I'm going to simply print this, okay. So let's say just run it, and you say that you are getting this. So the point to be remembered at this stage, okay, is that no doubt, as I said earlier, that we're going to be having a separate video for all these entire of sequences in Python, okay. But the point to be remembered over here is that this is how we declare a list, okay. So in a list, it is a collection of all the it can be a collection of integer, string, or floating point numbers, and we need to use a square bracket for this, and it simply says this is how you declare a list, okay. We'll quickly see the type of this, okay. So let's going to say print, and I'm going to say type and num. All right, so let's see. So yeah, we are getting the class list, okay. So this is nothing but the list in Python, okay. Heading over to next, okay. So there is this fifth one is the tuple, okay. What is a tuple, okay? So tuple is basically similar to list, but the case over here is that in tuple, we have some, now quickly see like how we are going to declare it, and then I will let you know. So say I say that, suppose text, okay, text is equal to, and in tuple you need to use this round brackets, okay. So it is also a collection of all this, okay. Say I take the example, the same example over here, okay, and yes, I took the same example, and the basically the difference is that in a case of tuple it's immutable. Now what is this immutable, right? So there comes scenarios in your program where you need to declare some data, and you can't change or modify that later, okay. So basically in case of list, you can see that it is a mutable. Mutable means simply means that if you have declared once, you can modify it later, but not the case with the tuple, okay. So tuple says that yes, I have declared this string and I will make this as this is fixed, okay. I won't modify it, okay. So this is the major difference between a list and a tuple, okay. So I'm going to say text, okay, and if I'm going to print this, I want to know the type. So I say type, and simply I will pass the variable name, okay. And if I say run, okay, you see you're getting this answer, right? So it says that it's of class tuple. Now how does this Python understands that whether it is a list or tuple? It's simply because of the use of these brackets, okay. In case of list, you are making use of the square bracket, and in case of tuple you are making use of this round brackets, okay. So for now you just need to remember this all, that's it, okay. As I said, we're going to having the detailed video over this, but as for now you just need to focus on what is list and what is tuple and how we declare this, okay. Heading over to next, the next data type in Python is the set, okay. So let's see an example, okay. So say I say set is equal to, now in order to declare a set you need to use a curly braces, all right. So now in set is the also the same thing, like it can have the collection of all, okay. So I'm going to take the same example over here, okay. Say I say this. The only difference between over here in set is that it doesn't allows repetition of the data, okay. It says I'm going to accept only the unique values. Now first we'll just run it and see, okay. So if I say print s and I want to know the type of this, okay, so I say type and s, that's it. So you see here, okay, it's printing the data. But what if I, and one thing you have noticed over here that when I say it's a set using a curly braces over here, you will observe that I had these two ABCs, this string, okay, and it's only giving me a single, okay. And you observe one more thing, that it's not ordered, okay. In the earlier things you were getting in ordered, okay. Like for example in a list we saw that we are getting 12 ABC, what is it's ordered, okay. In case of tuple also we are getting that, but in case of set you will observe that it is unordered. So basically set is what, it's a collection of int float or integer floating point numbers, or it's a collection of string, but it accepts only the unique values, okay. If there is some repetition of some values in it, it's going to avoid this. And one more thing, you can see that it's unordered, okay. So this is the main difference between a list, tuple and set, okay. So these are nothing but the data types, okay? And depending upon your scenario, like for what purpose you are using, you need to choose which data type is suitable for your code and all, okay? So heading over to next, okay, we'll see this range. Now, what is range in Python, okay? So basically, range is we use in case of iterations, okay? So like for example, you want to go for from one point to some other point, like for example, from 5 to 10, or you can say from 0 to 1000. So this is a range, okay? So how we are going to declare range? So I'm going to use one variable, okay? Simply say that I have not used z up till now, so okay, z, and in z I'm going to give it a range. For example, I say 20, okay? So this is going to it will consider a range from 0 to 19, okay, because of total 20 elements. Now I'm going to simply say print z, all right. And if I say that, so it says, yeah, it will start from 0 and it will end till 20, okay. We can even check the type, okay. So I'm going to say print, and I just want to know the type, okay. I'm going to say type and z, all right. So just save it and run it. So you can see that it says that it's of class range, okay. So up till now, just we have seen list, tuple, set, and range, okay. Range is used for the iteration purpose to go from one range to another, all right. And the last one is the dictionary. Now this dictionary is basically it works on the key value pairs. Now what is dictionary, okay? So in Python, we can have some key, we can have some uh, uh, associated value with that key, okay. So key and a value, we'll understand this with an help of example, okay. Now say I have this employee details, okay. So okay, so basically we will understand this with an help of an example. Now suppose that I have this my company, and I want to store some details over there. So it is going to work on a key value pair. So let's understand with the help of example. So this is an employee, okay, and basically I'm going to use in order to declare dictionary, you need to use curly braces like we have used in sets, okay. But here you're going to be having a key and a value, okay, associated, okay. It is also called as mapping, right? So I have this, and now I'm going to type this. Suppose I type the name and I say colon, and the name of the employee is XYZ, suppose, give it a comma, and I have the another thing about the department in his or her is working, okay. So she works as a developer, right? So, and we'll even say give it one more key, that we say that the salary, okay, and we say colon, and suppose I say she's having 35,000, okay. So this is how you declare a dictionary in Python, okay. So simply you're going to use curly braces over there, and you can see this name, okay. So this is not nothing but it is a key, okay, and this XYZ, its value, okay. This is the key, and this developer is its value, and similar with the salary, okay. Now if I simply say print, okay, so I say print and I say employee. So no, as I said, it's case sensitive, so the caps lock E and small e is considered differently, okay. So as I say here, okay, so emp, okay, and if I say that print, okay, so let's check it out, the comma, right? Okay, so we mix the comma, and now it works fine, okay. So no need to give here this, it will be considered as string, right? So you can basically give here as a int, okay. So you see you're getting the result, okay. So we are getting this name XYZ, department, developer, and salary is 35,000. So this is how you declare a dictionary, okay. And if I want to know the type, so I can simply write here that print, if I say type, so it says me that it's of class dictionary, all right. So basically it's what's these are all the data types, okay. So this is how we declare the dictionary in Python, okay. So you're simply going to give a key and a value over here, okay. We've just missed this comma, and that's what he was giving the error of invalid syntax, okay. So now as you can see here, like we have head over to this. Okay, so we have seen like all the data types in Pythons. Okay, so just quickly do a recap. Okay, so basically none is used for when you have a variable and you don't assign anything to it. Okay, so then in that case we use this none. Okay, the second one we did about the numeric. Okay, so in this case we have seen integer, floating point number, complex number, and even the boolean. Okay, and these are nothing but from third to seventh. You can see that these are nothing but the sequences in Python. Okay, and we are having this separate video for each one of this in our further tutorials. Okay, so string is basically nothing but all the string, list, and tuple set are the collection of all the data types. Okay, you can have any. Okay, you can have numeric string, or you can have floating point numbers. The major difference is in the way of the function and the operations we can perform over there, and even the how these are declared. Okay, so in case of list, we make use of this square bracket. Tuple, we make use of this round bracket. And in case of set, okay, and range, dictionary, we make use of this curly braces. Okay, so list is nothing basically like it's mutable. Okay, so if you have declared once, you can modify it later. Okay, but that's not the case with tuple. Okay, it says that I'm declared once and I'm not going to modify anything. Okay, and in case of set, it's basically like it will not avoid the repetition of the values. Okay, it will take it at one, and it is unordered. We have even checked it out in our practical stuffs. Okay, and in case of range, it is used for iteration. It is used for going from one point to the another point. And we even saw the dictionaries, okay, which works on key value pairs. And in order to declare this, okay, in order to declare this dictionary, we make use of the curly braces, but we have there a key and a value associated with. We even checked how we check the data types by the type function. Okay, so this was all about the data types in Python. Okay, and I hope you have got the detailed idea about the data types in Python. And in the next tutorial, we're going to be talking about more about the data types, like how you can do the conversion from one data type to another. Okay, so let's see over there. Thank you very much.